Yo, what's up everybody? It's RTH. Look, I gotta be real for a second. This one's heavy. We're diving deep into the world of aviation, but not the glamorous wanderlust kind. We're talking about the crashes, the incidents, the moments that make your stomach drop. 2024, man, it was a year. From runway near misses to unexplained mid-air tragedies, we're unpacking it all. This isn't about gawking at disasters, alright? It's about understanding them. It's about respect for the lives lost and the families forever changed. But it's also about learning. Every single one of these crashes, as devastating as they are, offers a chance to make aviation safer, to prevent this kind of heartbreak from happening again. So, buckle up. We're going through it chronologically, breaking down each incident, the investigations, the findings, all of it. This is our way of honoring the stories, while pushing for a future where these tragedies become a relic of the past. Let's do this. January 2nd, 2024. We are starting the year off in Tokyo, at one of the busiest airports in the world, Haneda. Picture this: two massive planes, packed with passengers, taxiing on the runway. One's about to take off, the other's landing. It's a high-stakes ballet, requiring absolute precision. But on this day, the music stopped. Miscommunication, a misread signal, a split-second decision, whatever the reason, the inevitable happened. Metal shrieked against metal as these two titans collided. Emergency crews rushed onto the scene, the smell of jet fuel thick in the air. Thankfully, through some miracle, no lives were lost that day. But the images, the sheer force of that impact, served as a chilling reminder of how fragile safety can be. Just days later, on January 5th, we find ourselves hurtling through the skies with Alaska Airlines Flight 1282. The flight took off like any other. Routine announcements, the hum of the engine a familiar lullaby. But high above the ground, a silent threat emerged. A mechanical failure. Those two words are enough to send chills down any flyer's spine. Suddenly, the routine flight transformed into a fight for survival. We'll dive into the specifics of what failed, the heroic actions of the pilots, and the agonizing minutes passengers endured as they faced their own mortality. This is a story of courage under pressure, and the thin line between life and death at 30,000 feet. January 23rd took us deep into the heart of the Alaskan wilderness, where Northwestern Air Flight 738 encountered its own mechanical demons. This wasn't a sudden, catastrophic event like Flight 1282, but rather a series of smaller failures, each one compounding the last. We're talking sensor malfunctions, faulty readings, a cascade of errors that chipped away at the plane's ability to stay airborne. It's a stark reminder that aviation safety isn't just about preventing the big explosive crashes, but also about meticulous maintenance, redundancy systems, and catching those small issues before they snowball into tragedy. Korochansky Ilyushin Il-76, a battle against the elements. The skies can be an unforgiving place, and on January 24th, the crew of the Korochansky Ilyushin Il-76 cargo plane learned that the hard way. They were flying through some of the most treacherous weather conditions imaginable. Blinding snow, howling winds, the kind of storm that makes you question why anyone would willingly leave the ground. This wasn't just bad luck. This was a case study in the limits of both human skill and aircraft capability. We'll examine the specific challenges posed by those weather conditions, the decisions made by the pilots, and the factors that ultimately led to this tragic crash. Lake Ranco helicopter crash. Experience versus fate. February 6th brought us to the serene beauty of Lake Ranco, Chile, where a routine helicopter tour turned fatal. On board was a veteran pilot, someone who knew these skies like the back of his hand, and a helicopter with a seemingly clean maintenance record. So what went wrong? we'll delve into the world of helicopter aviation, exploring the unique challenges and vulnerabilities these aircraft face. From mechanical intricacies to the ever-present threat of bird strikes, we'll analyze every angle to understand how experience and a clean record can still be overshadowed by the unpredictable nature of flight. Lost in translation, Hop a Jet Flight 823. Communication breakdowns are terrifying enough on the ground, but at 30,000 feet, they can be deadly. On February 9th, Hop a Jet Flight 823 became a case study in the critical importance of clear and concise communication between pilots and air traffic control. We'll listen in on the cockpit voice recorder, analyzing the back and forth, the missed cues, the subtle misunderstandings that, when compounded, created a perfect storm of human error. This is a story about the importance of language, protocol, and the human element in aviation safety. Orbic Air Eurocopter EC-130, Ghosts of Flights Past. Helicopters, with their complex mechanics and reliance on a single rotor, present unique challenges in aviation safety. On February 9th, an Orbic Air Eurocopter EC-130 crashed, raising questions about the helicopter's history and any previous incidents. Was this a case of a single catastrophic failure, or were there warning signs, whispers of trouble from the helicopter's past? We'll dig through maintenance logs, investigate prior incidents, and analyze flight data to understand if this tragedy could have been predicted or even prevented. Air Serbia Flight 324, Grace Under Pressure. On February 18th, Air Serbia Flight 324 experienced every passenger's worst nightmare, a mid-flight emergency. But this story isn't just about a brush with disaster. It's about the remarkable skill and composure of the flight crew in the face of chaos. We'll break down the timeline of the emergency, analyze the procedures the crew followed, and highlight the critical decisions they made that ultimately saved lives. This is a testament to the rigorous training, the unwavering focus, and the sheer determination that defines the best in the aviation industry. Off Course, the mystery of Safarilink Aviation Flight 053. March 5th brought us to the skies above Kenya, where Safarilink Aviation Flight 053 vanished from radar. This wasn't a sudden crash, no distress call, no mayday. It was as if the plane itself had simply ceased to exist. We'll examine the flight's planned route, analyze any deviations, and investigate the search and rescue efforts that ensued. What caused this plane to veer off course? Was it pilot error, mechanical failure, or something more sinister? This is a story of unanswered questions, a haunting reminder of the mysteries that still linger in the skies. Alaska Airlines Flight 800. When metal betrays. Modern airliners are marvels of engineering, but even the most sophisticated machines are susceptible to failure. On March 11th, LATAM Airlines Flight 800 experienced a series of cascading mechanical failures that turned a routine flight into a struggle for survival. We'll dissect the intricate workings of the aircraft, pinpointing the specific systems that failed and explaining the chain reaction that ensued. This is a story about the limits of technology, the importance of redundancy systems, and the constant need for vigilance in the face of mechanical complexity. Ivanovo Ilyushin Il-76, The Weight of Cargo. Cargo planes are the workhorses of the sky, transporting goods across vast distances. But on March 12th, an Ivanovo Ilyushin Il-76 cargo plane crashed, raising questions about the weight and distribution of his cargo. We'll delve into the science of weight and balance in aviation, examining how even a slight miscalculation can have catastrophic consequences. This is a story about the delicate equilibrium required for flight, the importance of proper cargo loading procedures, and the potential dangers of cutting corners in the name of efficiency. Malakal Airport collision, visibility zero. Airports are bustling hubs of activity, but with so many aircraft in close proximity, the margin for error is razor thin. On March 31st, a collision at Malakal Airport highlighted the critical importance of visibility and communication in preventing runway incursions. We'll recreate the scene, analyzing the layout of the airport, the weather conditions at the time of the collision, and the communication protocols in place. This is a story about the importance of situational awareness, clear communication, and the constant need for vigilance in the high-stakes environment of an airport. Lumut mid-air. Collision, a shared sky, a fatal miscalculation. April 23rd saw a tragedy unfold in the skies above Lumut, Malaysia, as two aircraft sharing the same airspace collided in a horrifying mid-air crash. This wasn't just a case of bad luck. It was a systemic failure, a breakdown in the very systems designed to prevent such catastrophes. We'll examine the role of air traffic control, analyze radar data, and delve into the communication between the pilots and the tower. This is a story about the importance of training, technology, and the constant need for vigilance in the increasingly crowded skies. Varzakan helicopter crash, design flaw, or human error. Helicopters are incredibly complex machines, with each component playing a critical role in keeping them aloft. On May 19th, a helicopter crashed in Varzakan, Iran, raising questions about the helicopter's design and the potential for human error. We'll investigate the helicopter's design history, looking for any known issues or vulnerabilities. We'll also analyze the pilot's actions, the weather conditions, and any other contributing factors. This is a story about the challenges of helicopter design, the importance of pilot training, and the constant need for vigilance in the face of mechanical complexity. Singapore Airlines Flight 321. When routine turns critical, takeoff and landing are the most critical phases of any flight, requiring precision, skill, and a little bit of luck. On May 26th, Singapore Airlines Flight 321 experienced a near disaster during landing, highlighting the fine margins for error in modern aviation. We'll analyze the flight data, examining the plane's speed, altitude, and approach angle. We'll also investigate the role of the pilots, the air traffic controllers, and any external factors that may have contributed to the incident. This is a story about the challenges of landing a massive airliner, the importance of communication, and the constant need for vigilance even during routine maneuvers. On June 10th, a Dornier 228 aircraft went down in Chikangawa, Malawi. A stark reminder of the unforgiving power of nature. This wasn't a case of mechanical failure or human error. This was a battle against the elements, a fight that the plane ultimately lost. We'll delve into the specific weather conditions that day, analyzing wind speeds, rainfall, and visibility. We'll also examine the plane's flight path, looking for any signs of the pilots battling the elements. This is a story about the limits of technology, the unpredictability of nature, and the respect we must have for the skies. The cockpit of an airplane is a place of immense responsibility, requiring years of training and experience to master. On July 12th, Gazpromavia Flight 9608 crashed, raising questions about the flight crew's experience and training. We'll examine the pilots' backgrounds, their flight hours, and their training records. We'll also analyze the cockpit voice recorder, listening for any signs of confusion, panic, or inadequate training. This is a story about the importance of experience, the value of rigorous training, and the constant need for improvement in the aviation industry. Aircraft maintenance is a meticulous, and unforgiving business, where even the smallest oversight can have catastrophic consequences. On July 24th, Alaska Airlines Bombardier CRJ-200 crashed, raising questions about the aircraft's maintenance records. We'll delve into the plane's history, examining its maintenance logs, repair records, and any previous incidents. We'll also investigate the airline's safety culture, looking for any red flags or warning signs. This is a story about the importance of meticulous maintenance, the need for strong safety cultures, and the consequences of complacency in the aviation industry. Gillette Pilatus PC-12, charting a course for disaster. On July 26th, a Pilatus PC-12 aircraft crashed near Gillette, Wyoming, the wreckage a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of flight. This wasn't a case of bad weather or mechanical failure. This was a crash caused by human decisions, by a flight path that deviated from the norm. We'll examine the plane's intended route, analyze its actual flight path, and investigate the pilot's decisions leading up to the crash. This is a story about the importance of following procedures, the dangers of complacency, and the need for constant vigilance in the cockpit. VUPA's Flight 22283, lost in translation again. In the high-pressure environment of an airport, clear communication is paramount. On August 9th, VUPA's Flight 22283 experienced a near disaster due to a communication breakdown between the flight crew and air traffic control. We'll listen to the cockpit voice recorder, analyzing the exchange between the pilots and the tower, identifying the points of confusion and miscommunication. This is a story about the challenges of language barriers, the importance of standardized procedures, and the need for constant vigilance in the aviation industry. ISIM Thai Flying Service Flight 2109. The runway's cruel irony. Airports are designed for safe takeoff and landing, but they can also be places of immense danger. On August 22nd, Thai Flying Service Flight 2109 experienced a runway excursion during landing, highlighting the fine margins for error in aviation. We'll analyze the flight data, examining the plane's speed, altitude, and approach angle. We'll also investigate the role of the pilots, the air traffic controllers, and any external factors that may have contributed to the incident. This is a story about the challenges of landing in adverse conditions, the importance of pilot training, and the need for constant vigilance on the runway. Kamchatka Milmi E Ismop Iskans Ase crash. A dance with the elements. The skies above Kamchatka, Russia, are known for their beauty and their unpredictability. On August 31st, a Mi-8 helicopter crashed in the region, a stark reminder of the power of nature. We'll delve into the specific weather conditions that day, analyzing wind speeds, visibility, and precipitation. We'll also examine the helicopter's flight path, looking for any signs of the pilots battling the elements. This is a story about the challenges of flying in remote regions, the importance of respecting weather limitations, and the unforgiving nature of flight. Pasakina Bell UH-1 crash, when design meets Destiny helicopters with their complex mechanics and reliance on a single rotor, are inherently more vulnerable than fixed-wing aircraft. On September 8th, a Bell UH-1 helicopter crashed in Pasakina, El Salvador, raising questions about the helicopter's design and maintenance. We'll investigate the helicopter's design history, looking for any known issues or vulnerabilities. We'll also examine the helicopter's maintenance records, looking for any red flags or signs of neglect. This is a story about the challenges of helicopter design, the importance of meticulous maintenance, and the unforgiving nature of flight. Mari Petroleum. Mi-8. The shifting burden of cargo planes are the unsung heroes of the aviation world, transporting goods across vast distances. But on September 28th, Amari Petroleum MIL-MI-8 helicopter crashed, highlighting the importance of proper cargo, loading, and weight distribution. We'll delve into the science of weight and balance in aviation, examining how even a slight miscalculation can have catastrophic consequences. We'll also investigate the cargo loading procedures followed in this case, looking for any errors or oversights. This is a story about the importance of following procedures, the need for vigilance, and the unforgiving nature of flight. New Way Cargo Ilyushin Il-76, a tragedy in turbulent times. On October 21st, a New Way Cargo Ilyushin Il-76 was shot down. A stark reminder that aviation doesn't exist in a vacuum. Geopolitical tensions, conflict zones, and acts of aggression can all have a devastating impact on aviation safety. We'll examine the geopolitical context surrounding this incident, analyzing the factors that led to the downing of the aircraft. This is a story about the human cost of conflict, the need for international cooperation, and the importance of protecting civilian aviation. Total Linhas Aéreas Flight 53682. When navigation fails. Modern aviation relies heavily on navigation systems, guiding aircraft safely to their destinations. But on November 9th, Total Linhas Aéreas Flight 5682 deviated from its planned route, highlighting the importance of redundancy and human oversight. We'll examine the flight's intended route, analyze its actual flight path, and investigate the factors that led to the deviation. This is a story about the limits of technology, the importance of pilot training, and the need for constant vigilance in the cockpit. Swifter Flight 5960, The Unseen Enemy. On November 25th, Swifter Flight 5960 experienced a catastrophic mechanical failure, a stark reminder that even the most reliable machines can fail. We'll delve into the specifics of the mechanical failure, examining the component that failed, its history, and the maintenance procedures surrounding it. This is a story about the importance of meticulous maintenance, the need for redundancy systems, and the constant pursuit of aviation safety. On December 18th, a Challenger 300 business jet crashed near San Fernando, Argentina, a tragedy that tested the limits of human courage and skill. We'll analyze the events leading up to the crash, examining the emergency procedures, followed by the crew and their attempts to avert disaster. This is a story about the bravery of those who take to the skies, the importance of training, and the inherent risks associated with aviation. Gramado Piper PA-42, the Silent Killer. On December 22nd, a Piper PA-42 aircraft crashed in Gramado, Brazil. A stark reminder that even small aircraft are susceptible to catastrophic failure. We'll investigate the aircraft's maintenance records, looking for any signs of neglect, improper repairs, or overlooked issues. This is a story about the importance of meticulous maintenance, the need for qualified mechanics, and the unforgiving nature of flight. Azerbaijan Airlines Flight 8243. The human factor. Aviation is a complex system that relies on both human and mechanical components working in perfect harmony. On December 25th, Azerbaijan Airlines Flight 8243 experienced a near disaster, highlighting the critical role of human decision-making in aviation safety. We'll analyze the events leading up to the incident, examining the decisions made by the flight crew, air traffic control, and other stakeholders. This is a story about the importance of communication, the need for clear procedures, and the constant pursuit of aviation safety. Jeju Air Flight 2216, When Words Fail. On December 29th, Jeju Air Flight 2216 experienced a serious incident due to a communication breakdown between the flight crew and air traffic control. we'll listen to the cockpit voice recorder, analyzing the exchange between the pilots and the tower, identifying the points of confusion and miscommunication. This is a story about the importance of clear and concise communication, the need for standardized procedures, and the constant pursuit of aviation safety. So, there you have it, guys. A year's worth of aviation incidents, each one a tragedy, each one a lesson. We've seen heroism, we've seen heartbreak, we've seen the limits of both human ability and technology. But most importantly, I hope we've gained a deeper understanding of the complexities of aviation, the importance of safety, and the constant need for vigilance. This isn't about instilling fear, alright? It's about respect. Respect for the skies, respect for the people who dedicate their lives to keeping us safe, and respect for the memories of those we've lost. If you found this video informative, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. And as always, stay safe out there.